you have two options. One is an eggless pre-made mix that you can buy at the bulk barn. It's really actually quite tasty and very easy. You basically add water to it. Okay, but we're going to do the traditional royal icing. It's a really good recipe. It's really simple, easy to make, and it's really nice flavor. So I've got 4 cups of powdered sugar, and I've got 3 tablespoons of meringue powder, and 9 tablespoons of water. Okay, you can actually just pour your meringue powder into the water and give it just a little pre-mix. And it's just room temperature water. And then you can just pour that into all of your sugar. Okay. And then we take our hand mixer and we're just gonna mix it. I just wanna get it mixed a little bit so I don't create a big cloud of powdered sugar. We're going to mix this for 2 minutes. So I've mixed the royal icing for about 2 minutes on a medium speed with my hand mixer, and I found that it was a bit runny, so I had to add extra sugar. Okay, so if you find that your icing is too runny or watery, just maybe start with using a couple less tablespoons of the water, or you can always adjust it by adding more powdered sugar. Now your icing should run smooth off of the beaters like so, okay? Not too thick, but definitely not thin, okay? Because you want it to hold its shape. Now at this point, we can flavor this icing. You can leave it plain, it's really good, or you can add almond, lemon, peppermint, vanilla, whatever you like. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of the almond flavoring, because it's just really nice with the vanilla sugar cookies, okay? And this will thin out the icing a little bit, but I did make it a little bit thick, so it should be fine. Heavy, but definitely not thin, okay? So now we want to do some colors. I use the Wilton gel colors because they're really vibrant and they don't thin out your royal icing. So I am needing some burgundy because I am out, and I'm going to use a good amount because I like my colors to be nice and vibrant. So we're just going to pour some of the royal icing into this other cup, and we will mix it. Now any unused royal icing we can just cover with some saran wrap so it doesn't dry out. You can make as much as you want, okay? And you'll notice with the gels, you'll get a really nice color. It's quite rich, and it doesn't really change the consistency of your icing, okay? So your consistency is still the same. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit darker just because I want a little bit of a deeper burgundy, okay? So I've got the color that I like, okay? It's a nice burgundy. And let's see how it drips. There it goes. It could be a little bit thick at the moment. So if you find that it is a bit too thick, you just add a little tiny bit more water. I'm going to leave it and use it this thickness. And we've got our piping bag. I use just a glass to help me fill my bag. Okay? So. And you can use a tip if you want. I'm not going to use a tip today. We're just going to cut the ends off. okay, when we decorate our cookie. Okay. Using the glass just helps me keep it tidy. So once we have our icing in our piping bag, you're just gonna cinch it together and give it a nice twist. And if you have an elastic, use an elastic, or if you have one of these little elastics with the little hooks on them, they're for piping bags, you can just tie your bag. And that way none of the icing comes out the end when you're trying to decorate your cookie and you make a huge mess. You can also, if it's a small amount, you can just actually twist it yourself and give it a knot, and that works as well. And like I said, you can actually use a little fine tip or any size you like at the end of the bag if you want to. I'm not going to use it today, okay? That's for fine detail work if that's what you want to do. We're just going to snip the end and we're going to decorate our cookies. Okay. So I'm going to just snip the very tip of my piping bag, okay? Now I want to do it quite close to the end because I don't want a lot to come out. I want it to just be able to follow the outline that I've drawn on the cookie, okay? So we're just going to cut at the very tip, and I always have a paper towel nearby so I can clean everything, okay? And what we want to do is we always want to try on the paper towel first, okay? See, I didn't cut enough off, so we're going to cut a little bit more. And we want to do our practice line. And I'm still not cutting enough. Okay, here's our practice line on the paper towel. Can you pause? So we've made our royal icing, and I've colored a few different colors. I recommend always, of course, white, because we're going to need white for our beard. I recommend just a small amount of a very light pink for the cute little nose, and a dark color and a light color, one for our base and one for decorating our little hat, okay? So we've got all our icing colors ready, and we've got our little cookies in different shapes. And you can freehand these cookies, or if you want them to look really uniform and more professional, you can just draw yourself a little template. I just cut out a little shape that I thought looked like a cute little hat that fits on my cookie. And I have an edible marker. You can get these at the bulk barn. And what you do is you just mark it. Okay, so you just fit it onto your cookie and then just draw out the little shape as best you can. Okay? And then when you're gonna pipe your icing on here, you're just gonna follow your little drawing, okay? So I've done a few here, and we're gonna go ahead and start piping our base color, okay? And as you can see, lots of them are the same. And this one here was a little bit short, so we're just gonna give it no legs, no feet. It's gonna look super cute. Okay, so we're gonna take a color. I'm gonna go with my burgundy. And again, I didn't use a tip. We're just gonna cut the very end, so it's quite a fine amount of icing that's gonna come out, okay? For this, I need my glasses. There we go.